What's happening, people? We're back. 12th man's here. Arsenal Roundabout Show is back. We're going to be talking about all of the signings that Arsenal have made, which is so many. We're going to have to try and make an extra show because there's going to be about 8 or 9 players that we got to reveal. Yeah, I wish. It's not going to be much different in terms of the positions that we need because we still ain't signed anyone, man. The transfer window apparently is open, and it sounds like we're doing business in July. Mad. Listen, big up to my panel tonight. We've got Kenny Ken in the house. We've got Jez back in the house. We've got African Guna here. We've got D from Famzone TV. We are going to have Northside jumping on. In fact, I think he might be here now. Yes, he is. There we go. Sorry, my bro. Big up to North. And look, we're going to be talking all things Arsenal. And if I'm honest with you, I think it's same old Arsenal, which was a podcast I used to be on years ago. And nothing's really changed, if I'm honest with you. Before we do that, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, people. Make sure you're also in the top right corner. We've got the QR code for Match Bingo. It is the link in the description as well. Please make sure you're downloading that and getting involved with Match Bingo. The Club World Cup, should I say, is on. So please make sure that you're getting your bingo cards for that. And good luck, man. We've got a few people that have been winning. So please make sure you're doing that, people. Show them some love. They've been very good to us. Okay, who am I going to start with? I'm going to start with North because I know you don't have long. There's 3 sides to this scenario at the moment, North side. The first side is calm down. It's all good. Arsenal have got time. It doesn't need to be a rush. There's a section of the fan base that are in the middle that are like, yeah, I know that there's some time left, but I have concerns because Man City and Liverpool are moving mad. And then there's the other side that are totally ranting and raving and had enough of it, bro. Where are you at, bruv? Talk to me.
If they're talking about let's not complain and we've got time, let's just go through all the crap that they've told us to have time with at this club. When we was paying off the stadium, it takes time. Let us pay off the stadium. We'll then compete with Man City. When we started, then when we got this manager, don't worry, we're buying Lokonga and Fabi Vieira. Don't worry, it takes time. This is only phase 1 players. Then we got Champions League football. Don't worry. It took Klopp 4 years. Give it more time. Then when we go out there and get Havertz, don't worry, it takes time. We've got versatility. Then, now we've got to this position where Slot has won the league. Don't worry, it takes time. The Champions League is going to bring world-class players. Bro, they've been telling us to give them time for 20-odd years. We've had 20-odd years worth of excuses. Where are the trophies? Where are the trophies? So, I'm sorry, when people say give it time, it takes time. They told us to be patient when we had Fabregas. The club took time. We lost Fabregas to Barcelona. They tell us to take time when we had Van Persie. We didn't match his ambition. He left. Guess what? Man United won the league. We didn't. They told us give it time when Nasri left. They told us give it time when Adebayor left. Give it time. We're building an English core. Give it time. We're starting a new phase under Emery. Give it time. Give it time. Give it time. Give it time. What did we do when we had Ozil and we had Alexis Sanchez? Did we build upon that?
No.
We've had multiple rebuilds over the last 20 years that have been incomplete and people keep telling us to give it time. But none of the builds have ever amounted to any major honours. So when we're skeptical about it, it's because we had news at the end of the season saying, oh, don't worry, they're looking to extend the Emirates, the capacity of the Emirates. Why can they extend the stadium when we ain't got no trophies? Because they're not concerned with trophies. They're not concerned with winning. People are saying, which player do you want? You got to get the player that Arteta wants. Okay, well, Zinchenko's an Arteta profile. Does anyone want to keep him? So was Jorginho. What about Marquinhos? What about Havertz? Because when we got Havertz in, us, the negative side of the fan base, told you this guy's not good enough. All of a sudden, you guys were saying, it's not about scoring goals. It's about what he contributes. Look at the field tilt. Look at the passing range. And now you man want a clinical striker. This whole team is built with Arteta profile. So why are we even going down the profile thing? And if we're going down Arteta profile, why is Berta here? Why is he here? I thought we got him in because he's got experience and what he done at Atletico. So let him do his thing. I don't know. For me, it's just crazy how this fan base moved the goalpost all the time. You told us to give him time. It took Klopp 4 years. We're now on phase 6. So this is why anyone telling me give it time, Well, you're 2 years too late because you told me it takes 4 years. You're 2 years too late. But now we move the goalpost again. For what? So we're going for Sesko apparently. Yeah? Make this make sense. We're going for Sesko, yeah? Who is a striker that's not clinical. We're going to get the most out of him. I thought we was going to get the most out of Havertz. Because that experiment still hasn't popped off. I thought we're getting the most out of Havertz. But then you're telling me to now trust another striker that we need to develop. Why is Martinelli going backwards? Why has Odegaard been going backwards the last 2 years? How come we can't get the most out of Marquinhos? He's a young player. I thought he's Arteta's profile. Why can't we get the most out of Nketiah if this manager is so good at developing players? Why can't you get a tune out of ESR? We've had 5 years of this nonsense. So when anyone comes with any excuse, we've got 5 years to sit and say, okay, cool. You're telling me developing players, yeah? Why can't he develop Kivior? Why is Kivior being linked away? Why couldn't he turn Zinchenko into a fullback that can defend? Why do we spend money on Calafiori that is as bad as Zinchenko? Better going forward than he is defending, which is why Skelly's comfortably putting him on the bench. Why are we identifying? We want to talk about Arteta's ID. This guy was playing Thomas Partey at right back. He played Moreno. He bought him as a DM. The guy can't play as a DM. He plays as a striker. You bought Havertz to play in the midfield. He can't play in the midfield. And he's not good enough to lead in the front line, which is why everyone's crying out for Gyokeres. So what are we doing here? Man said that he's going to unlock Sterling. All these broken promises and all this gaslighting, yeah? Where's the results? Because these are all the stuff you man told us. Wait, be patient. Be patient. Well, I've been patient. What's it come to? What's it come to? You man told me 4 years, you know. Don't think I forgot about that. So, sorry, this is phase 6, and you're telling me we're getting Sesko. Why is this guy not able to develop Lokonga and Nuntavaj? Did he not bring them to the club? I thought he's so good at developing players. If you're so good at developing players, develop the players that you've already bought. You can't develop none of them now. Nuntavaj is performing better for Lazio than he is for Arsenal, but you're going to tell me that this guy's going to unlock Sesko. Unlock Jesus then. Unlock Havertz. Oh, okay then. So you can't unlock those players, can you? But I'm supposed to believe you're going to unlock Sesko. Based on what? Because he's your profile. No, I'm not hearing any of the excuses, bro. This fan base loves too many excuses, and you've had 5 years worth of excuses, and all your excuses I remember, because that's when I was getting told I was negative, I was toxic. All I want to do is complain. Cool. Well, let me use your words against you. You told me to believe. What am I believing in? What am I believing in? Getting second. Getting second. We finished second when Leicester won the league. What did we do? Oh, we didn't push on. We didn't buy the players that we're supposed to. Don't talk to me about getting Sesko. While we have not reached our target, we could have got Kante at this club before. We could have got Higuain. We could have got Benzema. And if we couldn't have got them, we could have got some of them. We could have went in for Messi when we went in for Fabregas, in La Masia. There's numerous players that we could have went and got. We could have got Yaya Toure. This club, yeah, has been lying to us for 20 years. Oh, don't worry. Chelsea got Kante. We got Xhaka. Who's the better player? Who's the better player? And this manager, yeah, we used to have Wenger that used to pick all the best French players. What Spanish ballers is it? Man are asking me more about Portuguese ballers than they're asking Arteta about Spanish ballers. How am I supposed to know as a fan about Portuguese ballers and this Spanish manager doesn't know about Spanish ballers? His player ID stinks, bro. Even a washed out Wenger's got better player ID than this guy. Arteta out. I want him gone tonight. Don't talk to me about process and project and being patient. I want him gone, bro. I want him gone. You lot had your fun. It is done now. We're looking like idiots, bro. We're looking like idiots. While Newcastle and Crystal Palace are picking up trophy. Even Spurs. Are you man not ashamed? Spurs won a trophy and you man are telling me get Sesko. Every one of you that are saying that you deserve this. You deserve it because you're not hurting enough. Because if you are hurting enough, you want to go and get Gyokeres. We should never be sitting here as Arsenal Football Club. You might want to say Arsenal Football Club, big club. And then we're not going out there and getting the players over the line.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Sorry, not to cut you, bro. Sorry, not to cut you. But I think you're conflating a few different issues, isn't it? I think in terms of, say, let me change the narrative a bit. What people fail to forget sometimes in terms of like the club is every club or fan base wants to win with one of their own, innit? So in an ideal world, we would have Henry as manager or Fabregas or or one of those guys as manager in the ideal world. The same as Chelsea, they want Lampard. The same as Liverpool, they would rather win with Gerrard. You know what I'm saying? That's what, otherwise Arteta wouldn't even get the job at Arsenal. He only got the job because he was captain of our club. So I think people forget that every club wants to have that fairy tale story. But obviously, that's the reason why he's been given a lot more time. Because you're just saying it's far more like sweet, the victory, if you do it with one of your own. Do you not agree with that?
Sure, but it shouldn't matter.
I don't care. Was Wenger one of our own? Wenger wasn't one of our own.
No. I'm not saying there are managers that don't win, that are not part of your team. I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
of course, we're much more sentimental towards players.
Yeah, that's why Lampard has had 2 or 3 opportunities at Chelsea. Yeah. That's the reason why.
I'm sentimental towards my family, not the football club. I don't know these man. I want to win.
You're not sentimental. You're not understanding what I'm saying. Yeah, but would you not rather win? Would you not want Henry?
No, I just want to win. No, I just want to win. There's a job. Get your job done, like any other job in the world. It's not a sentimental thing. You get paid.
Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to win with some.
Yeah, but everyone ain't waiting 21 years though.
But what I'm saying is that's the reason why Jack Wilshere was part of the coaching team. Mertesacker was part of the coaching team. Edu was sporting director. Cazorla might be coming back. It's because everybody wants one of their own part of the club. That's the reason. You're saying that it doesn't matter.
No, bro, this is not a charity. Is Enrique part of the fabric at PSG? Is Hansi Flick part of the fabric at Barca?
You keep using. Why
does it have to be a fairy tale?
Wait, let me finish. You keep using analogies that are where it's worked, that are not part of the fabric. How about Guardiola at Barcelona, Tito Villanova at Barcelona? They were part of the fabric.
Change the fabric. 21 years of not winning anything. Change the fabric, bro.
You're not understanding.
But we don't need to continue with the fabric because it's not working, bro. It's not working.
No, you're saying it's not working, but my point, I'm not whether it's working or not is down to interpretation.
Yeah, we ain't won nothing. It's not down to interpretation.
No, it is down to interpretation because my point is you don't know whether it's going to work or not. You're saying you've had enough time, so you want him to go. That's what you're saying. And I'm saying the reason why he's had enough more time is because he was a captain of our football club. That's the point I'm making.
And he's done some good things as well.
Yeah, whether it's right or wrong.
At the end of the season, when you lift nothing, there's no other interpretation. You've lifted 0. That's it. There is no other interpretation. We have not won the league. Why we've kept this manager, to keep the fabric, Why we've kept this manager to keep the fabric, when this guy's not even a legend. He's not even a cult hero, We have missed out on Enrique. We have missed out on Enrique. We have missed out on Ancelotti. We have missed out on Slot. We have missed out on Klopp. We have missed out on numerous Inzaghi, numerous big managers, bro. It's not about the fabric. It is not about the fabric. No, this manager, has been given 15 million a year. I'm sorry, it's not a charity. He's not doing charity work. If it was charity work, I'd look at it differently. You're getting paid to do a job. And while we're sticking with this guy, I'm seeing processes like PSG. PSG changed their fabric. They did the Galactico thing. Then they started saying, "No, forget that. Let's get the best young sporting manager that won with Monaco." Ocampos, the Portuguese sporting director. Let's get him in. Oh, Enrique. Okay, you know how to build a team. Cool, we'll get you in. We want to go get the Champions League. They didn't continue to keep doing the same thing. They learned from their mistakes. We never learn. We always think that we're going to rewrite.
You're saying that, and you're acting like we didn't go and get Emery. We did it, and it didn't work. Why you keep saying it like we haven't done that? I'm confused.
It didn't work.
You're making points that we've done.
No, we haven't done that because Emery failed. Emery failed. And what was it? And what was the result? He got sacked.
Emery failed, so we changed the fabric, didn't we? Did we not do it already?
We didn't change the fabric. We went for a manager that's less decorated. How's that going to work?
How can you say Emery failed? Sorry to jump in here, guys.
At Arsenal.
How can you say he failed?
At Arsenal.
He got Arsenal. He got Arsenal to our last European Cup final.
And he didn't get half the money that Arteta got.
Hold on a minute. Are we saying Emery succeeded then? Is that what we're saying?
No.
He didn't with less.
Who was the last manager? And don't talk to me about the FA Cup final with Arteta.
Why?
That wasn't his team. That was Emery's.
Oh, see, we're doing all that. Okay.
And all of them have gone. They've all gone.
No, forget all that. What I'm saying is, are you saying?
No. Don't forget all that. Just to make.
No, let's focus on what you said. Let's focus on what you said. You said that
he got Emery got Arsenal to a cup final.
That's what I'm saying. Let's focus on what you said. You said that. How can I say Emery failed? So are you saying Emery succeeded? Because that's the opposite of failing, isn't it? Are you saying Emery succeeded?
He succeeded. He's done better than this manager.
You are going. This is crazy.
What's this manager achieved?
This is absolutely crazy.
What? what has Arteta achieved?
Well, you said Emery's done better than Arteta, so you got to tell me what Emery achieved.
He got to a cup final. He got to a cup final in Europe.
And oh my days.
I know.
And what was the score? What was the score in the cup final? What was the score?
4-1.
Sorry?
What was the score in the cup final?
We got battered by Chelsea because the team didn't turn up.
Oh, there we go.
We had a better team then than we got now.
No, I disagree. I don't
Okay, fair enough. That's your opinion. But at the end of the day, the question is you're trying to make out, right? That Arteta has done better than him, and he's done nothing. He's made the club. Do you not agree? The squad is now in a worse position than it was when Emery was here.
No, I don't agree.
How can it be in a worse position? We've got two of the best centre backs in the world. We've got one of the best right backs in the world.
We're challenging for the league. We're making
Have we got a striker?
I mean,
but you said it's in a worse position. How is it in a worse position? We've got one of the youngest teams in the league. I don't understand how it's in a worse position. We haven't won trophies. Understand that. If you want to get rid of Arteta because he hasn't won, that's fair enough. I understand that because it's about winning. I get that. But you can't then start adding all these extra stuff to act like our team is one of the worst teams in the league. Our team is one of the best teams in the Premier League. Simple as that.
Why? We haven't won nothing.
No.
Yeah, but
so we're not. One sec, bro. So is our team not one of the best teams in the Premier League?
No, we haven't won nothing.
It's not. So what? Wait. So what teams are better than us in the Premier League?
Liverpool, Man City.
Anyone else?
Well, there's two of them.
Yeah, but you said it's not one of the. I'm waiting for the rest. What
are we in this for? Are we just here to come?
No. Please answer my question. I want you to go with what you said. You said we're not one of the best teams, but I want you to name the best.
One. We haven't
so
won second. That ain't achieving. That is not. First place is first place. Second place is first place.
Let me ask this then.
I grew up watching this club win trophies.
So did I. I'm 37. Why
do you expect failure? Why do you accept failure?
I asked a simple question, which was, I said we're one of the best teams in the Premier League. You said no, we're not.
Because we haven't won.
I said which teams are better, and you said two teams.
All right, if you want me to really put the insult, and it's an insult to me, you've got to say fucking Tottenham. They've just won a European trophy.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm.
That's not really the discourse I want to be having.
This is like, how am I supposed to have a conversation?
They're a better team than Arsenal. They've just
Tottenham are better. Dan, and make sure from now on, when you start doing his clips, make sure you clip this as well, because I see clips and I watch them all the time, and he's just said Tottenham are better than Arsenal. So I
hate Tottenham, man. Don't ever come to me with that one, fella. I was born and bred in Highbury.
How are Tottenham better than Arsenal?
Opposite bloody Highbury Stadium, so I know the angry.
How are they better than us? What? Because they won the league?
Just won a trophy. What have we won?
Oh my goodness gracious!
What have we won?
Tell me. They have a more successful season than us, but they're not a better team than us.
Yeah, I think they had a more successful season.
But
I think they had a more successful season because they won a trophy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they're better, but D, you made a point, yeah, which is fair. We didn't win that Europa League final, yeah.
No,
that was a failure, isn't it? That was a failure. That was failure under Unai Emery, right?
Emery, yeah.
That was a failure, right, D? I just want to get it straight. That was a failure by Unai in that final, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Cool, I agree. It's also a failure being 8 points clear and bottling the league. It's also a failure.
No one's denying that. Yeah, no one's denying that. So up to that, let me just cut in and then you can go on.
No, but this is where I keep the same energy, D. This is where I keep the same energy. I don't care who the manager is. Even if, for example, yeah, I would take Inzaghi at Arsenal. I'll take Hansi Flick. If they fail at Arsenal, I want them out. If you are given the money and time and you do not deliver a major honor, I want you out, regardless if I want you in.
No, I'm agreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
So as much as Emery, we could say, okay, he wasn't given time. I can hear that because look how much time this guy's getting. And look how much of a rebuild this guy had to get when Emery inherited roughly the same squad. Cool. That was a failure under Emery, but this has been a failure under Arteta too. Neither one of them are winning the major honor.
And what you're basically saying is, what I'm gathering from this is because the issue is, if you're the owner of Arsenal, you've got the position to hire and fire managers. Each individual season, if you look at each individual season, the only reason why you say you would fire him is because he didn't actually win the trophy. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because it would be very hard to fire him after each individual season.
I said at the end of the season, if Arteta won it, I wanted him to stay in. I apologize for everything I said about him.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if he wins it next season, for example, would you say that he still should have been sacked previous years?
If he wins it, I don't want him to stay another season.
Yeah,
my thing has always been, I don't believe he's the guy to get us over the line. If he gets us over the line, then I will say, fair enough. You done what I didn't expect you to do. I was wrong. I don't mind being wrong, bro.
I accept that. What I'm saying is, you see your mindset of where you say that you wouldn't gone now. I understand that. There's still people in the camp feeling like he can get us over the line. So your mentality of, oh yeah, he should go because he didn't win the league, you can apply that to every single person that doesn't win the league, unless you're talking about just trophies. Are you talking about the league?
You know why? Because they moved the goalpost, D. Because do you know why? Because before the 4 years, they told me wait 4 years. Klopp, it took 4 years. Then we get to the 4 years. Hold on, he needs his ingredients. Then they say, well, hold on, he's got Champions League. We're going to get world-class players. We don't get world-class players. Then they're like, he has to win a season. Last season, yeah, I clipped up multiple people saying at the start of the season, we must win a major honor next season. This fan base don't hold this manager accountable. They hold Edu accountable. They hold the players accountable. Some of them that they don't like. They hold people in the fan base like me that they don't like to hear from. But they don't hold this manager accountable. How can you say that at the start, the people that said it, last season, he had to win a major honor. He doesn't win one. And then they say, oh, no, but give him one more year. And this is what they keep doing. This is why I don't respect their opinion.
No, forget what everyone else keeps doing. Let's just focus on what we're talking about today, innit? Forget like all the other streams. I'm saying today, you want him gone because you feel he hasn't won the league in the last 3 years or whatever the situation is where we've had a chance to win it. And I'm saying if he wins it next year, you're going to say, oh, it makes sense to have kept him for the last 3 years. Is that basically what you're saying? Or you're saying sack a manager every time we don't win the league?
So if a manager comes in for me, I'll give him 2 years.
Clubs do that.
Personally. I'll give a manager 2 years.
Real Madrid, look at Barcelona. You know,
I'll give a manager personally 2 years
to win. At the end of the day, this guy, let's be fair. Let's be fair about it, right? Coming up for his 6th year, December this year, and what has he won? One FA Cup. Not good enough. Not acceptable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're staying based on the last 5 years. Is basically what you're saying. And I'm saying, if you look at each individual season, it would have been hard for the owners after each individual season to say, okay, it's time to go. Unless we get to the point where Northside is, where he says it's been 4 years kind of thing, like that. Because you guys could have been screaming this 3 years ago and said he didn't win the league 3 years ago. You get it?
Not really, because surely the project is easier to sell to a top manager if we've got such a great defense, such a great midfield, such a great attack, great young players in the club, and the club is challenging. That is a great situation to actually go up to a winner and say, listen, all you need to go out there is get a striker, get a number 10 that will turn up in the big games, you know, get a left winger that can, you know, at least keep up with Saka, and you've got the basis of a good team, because Arteta has built the basis of a good team. What he's not good at is his game management. What he's not good at is plan B. What he's not good at is identifying players and their strengths. What he's not good at is getting specialists in certain areas, or having a bench that literally doesn't affect the team, that can't even get into the starting lineup, or spending money on players and not seeing the quality you already have on the bench, i.e. the youngsters, Ethan and Skelly. So if you get a manager that's actually tactically aware and a manager that actually knows how to identify players, we've got the basis to kick on. But with a manager that is resorting to long throw-ins against PSG, yeah, that is pathetic. Aston Villa put a better showing against PSG. They could have won that game. We were never in that tie against PSG. Never. And the reason I say that, people are going to say, oh, PSG is the best team in the world. Hold on. But when we got that tie, this fan base was disrespecting them because they were high off of beating Real Madrid. And I was like, don't disrespect this PSG team because they've been playing ball. We don't care about them. Yeah. And then look, we were never in the tie. How is Unai Emery going to Aston Villa, a team that almost got relegated, hasn't got the money spent nor the time as Arteta, and put a better showing up against PSG than Arteta has? This manager's not all that, bro. This guy is not a top manager, bro. He lets himself down. We've done the dark arts.
I understand you think that, but the facts are that in the last 3 years, he's been the second best manager in the league. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Why then, D? Let me ask you this, D, right? Let me ask you this, D, because sorry, I want to bring Kenny and African Gooner in a sec, because I appreciate it, you two, but this debate is good. So I think what the panel was struggling, well, not all the panel, can't speak for everyone, right? But I think what they're struggling to understand is you brought up the kind of sentimental stuff about there being someone part of the club who loves the club, who obviously wants the best of the club. And I don't deny the fact that Mikel Arteta wants Arsenal to win and believes that, you know, he wants the best for Arsenal. I've got no doubt about that. I just have question marks about whether he's the guy that gets us across the line. Why do you think that he is? Because I believe you do. So why do you think that he is the guy?
Because I genuinely believe that we've got because it's about what you believe in and what you felt during the season. Do you understand? So at no point this season did I feel we'd win the league. If I feel like how we were this season for the next couple of years, then I can understand why I'd be Arteta out. But 2 years ago, when we were battling, when we didn't expect to win the league, I thought, we might do it this year. And definitely last year, I thought we're definitely in this one. I'm talking about during the season. During the season, I felt like we can win this all the way towards maybe the last couple games, three games. So that's what I go on. I go on what I believe during the season and how I felt then. If I felt how I did again next year about how I was this season, then I might be a bit more towards the Arteta route. But this year, I didn't feel we had a chance at all. Like after the first 10 games, I didn't feel like we had a chance.
Whose fault is that? Who's responsible for that?
What do you mean? Arteta, obviously.
Yeah, so which is why fans would be saying.
Yeah, I understand. But fans want me to be Arteta out as well. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, no, I hear both of your points. Like I hear totally from Northside's point, and I have the same reservations about Arteta. Like I'm kind of in the middle because I see both your sides. I see what Northside's saying, whereas he's made too many mistakes and blatant mistakes that I can't ignore as someone who's played the game myself and understand that bringing a defender on when you're chasing a goal, I mean, that's just not common sense, right? And as he said, against PSG, we got found out because we couldn't create any chances, but he's the one who got rid of the 4 attacking players and replaced them with Sterling. And I also agree with this point about the fact that use the resources that we have in the club and make use of them. Like, okay, even if Edu's the one who brought in Sterling, at least try to get the best out of him. And I also agree with the point he made in terms of the fact that we haven't improved a lot of players, and most of our attacking players, if we look at them, even Aubameyang, have regressed under this manager. But on the other side, he has broken some records. We've scored the most goals our club has ever seen in a season. We've been competing for the league 3 years in a row, right? We made a semifinal of the Champions League. We're the best defensive team. And as you mentioned it, like in the past 3 years, we are one of the best teams. I wouldn't even say in England, I would say in the world, right? So it has to be a balance between the two for me. And I personally believe that it's kind of just irrelevant to be having this discussion because we know he's not moving. But the goalpost is moving every single season, in my opinion, that we're not winning a trophy. And we keep saying one more year, one more year, one more year. And this year was supposed to be that one more year. And the injuries and the bad signings has really given him an extra year, really, to say, you know what, he didn't have all the tools. Now, my perspective is like, look, he's broken my trust, and I'm looking at this summer transfer window, and as an Arsenal fan right now, I'm not overreacting to anything because he's either going to hang himself or he's going to win. That's the way I see it, right? Because there's no more excuses now. He either gets the striker and the winger and the attacking midfielder that he wants, and he gets us over the line, or he doesn't and he loses it. So in my perspective, he's a dictator and he's a control freak. And there's two paths to that, right? When a leader is in full control and he's, delegating, you either believe and you trust your leader. And if he gets you over the line, it's all good and everything is just flowers and rosy, right? But if he doesn't, you lose the fan base, you lose the players, and this becomes super chaotic and becomes a very nasty fight between fans like we've seen before, right? And this goes really downhill. And I don't want it to go that way. And I hear Northside's perspective on, is Sethko the guy? Really, we should be wanting Gyokeres. But for me, it's not. It's bigger than that. Like, I'm okay if we sign Sethko or Gyokeres. I really don't care. I want to see a striker, but I also want to see more than that, right? If you get me a Sethko and Rodrygo, I'm really excited, and I couldn't really care less if we don't get Gyokeres. But if you get a Sethko and another young player, then again, I'm looking at Arteta, I'm looking at the club, and I'm saying, well, we need ready-made players, and yet again, you're going for two young, raw talents that are for the future, and we are way past that point right now. So, in my opinion, it really needs to be now. We have to get a striker, a left winger, and we got to compete on all four fronts. It can't just be another season where we compete in the league until the end of the season, but we can't make any cup runs. We have to be competitive in all four of the competitions and kind of make our assessment, right? If for me, Northside saying Arteta has to go tonight, my opinion is if we don't sign the right players by the end of the window, pretty much we already know what's going to happen in the season, and that's where I am, right?
Yeah, look, I agree. Look, North, before you go, because I know you've got to go do your watch along, man, and we'll redirect to you after this stream. I just want to quickly get literally a brief second on Gyokeres from you, because obviously you know the Portuguese league better than I do. Do you think this is the guy?
It's always a risk, but he seems to be the best option. I'm not going to nail down and say, yes, he is the guy, because we've never seen him do it in the Prem. I think he's somebody that has shown to be probably Sporting's best player in a long time. And they always churn out a lot of talent. He's good with the link-up play. He's a good finisher. He scored a bag of goals in the Portuguese league, and I think he's had enough years there to then go on to the next step. Is it a risk? Of course, it's a risk. For every player is a risk. We've seen Shevchenko come to this league and not be able to do it here. You know what I mean? So even players with the biggest credentials at times have not done it at this league. Varane as well. So I just think he's the smartest one. He's had the taste for winning trophies. He's a very good footballer. He knows how to find the back of the net. And I think he's ready to take the next step to the Prem. So I think he's worth the risk. And I think it's the smarter option other than going for Sesko. Obviously, I've seen Gyokeres way more than I've seen Sesko. But 13 goals in the league season? I mean, if that's the case, why did this fan base not like Giroud? You know what I mean? Why did they not like Lacazette? That's Lacazette numbers, really. So I don't really know. But yeah, man, it's got to be Gyokeres for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I want Gyokeres big time. North, it's always a pleasure, my bro. Thank you so much for coming on. I know it was short and sweet, but I really appreciate your time and for jumping on when you're busy already, man. But enjoy your watch along, man. We'll send people over afterwards and big up, man.
No, I love Dan for getting me on, man. Big up Kenny, big up Jez, African. And D, it's good. It's nice to have a debate. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, honestly, 21 years, man. It's too much, bro.
You know what? Before you go, I think it's just the fact. If you look at it on paper, it's been 5 years, no trophy, not the trophy that we need. I think that's what we go on, innit? Because it's what's on paper, innit? But I just see a bit more about how we're playing and what we're doing. But I get what you lot are saying, man. I understand. It's getting to the stage where it's time to buckle up at the end of the day.
Time to deliver. Time
see
to
that,
be like
you see that, D, yeah? That's the last piece of merch I've ever got. You remember that, yeah?
Yeah, it's not.
That's the club I decided to support, bro. This is the club, not this nonsense, bro.
No, it's time, man. I understand where you lot are, man. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Come over to the dark side.
No, not yet. I'm looking for the people.
love.
It's love, man. It's love. Cheers, North, legend. Listen, Kenny, talk to me about Rodrygo, because it sounds like Berta is doing some serious work here to try and get Rodrygo, from what we understand. Now, we only go by rumours, right? And I'm looking at the moment at the latest, and it's saying that Romano has suggested that Arsenal love Rodrygo. They consider him as a fantastic player, a dream target.
Dream target is Fabrizio's keyword.
Yeah, dream target is a proper serious word. He remains a strong name in the list at Arsenal for sure. There's also reports suggesting, that's just come out in the last few hours or the last hour, that if there's a deal to be done for Rodrygo, Arsenal are keen to do it. His future at Madrid is far from clear, and a move, if Arsenal are encouraged to make an offer, would not be expected to happen until much later in the window. But Rodrygo is on the exit ramp at Real Madrid. It's been confirmed by his entourage that he's probing a move to the Premier League, where teams such as Arsenal are interested in the player, and Real Madrid will ask for around 90 million euros. Kenny, is this waffle, or is this something that could happen?
How much is he getting at Real Madrid? Because I've seen Real Madrid players do it loads of times.
The wages?
Make himself unsettled, and then only to get an improved contract. Ramos did that at Man United 10 years ago. He was meant to be going to Man United, and all of a sudden Real Madrid offered him more money. Oh, I'm staying. I look at the Rodrygo thing. It's just
200,000 a week. He's on 200,000 a week.
Yeah, but Dave, for a lot of players, that's not enough. That's not enough. He's probably looking for increased wages. They're linking us with Rodrygo because of the axis of Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, where we can get a game on it. So sometimes I look at it and I think it's 2 and 2 equals 5. Don't get me wrong, I'd take them all day long, because as everyone in this panel knows, I've washed my hands of Martinelli at least 2 years ago. I've had enough. The Martinelli, you don't disrespect Martinelli brigade. As far as I'm concerned, that just goes in one and they're out the other. Because the fact that they're now saying, people are saying that Martinelli's elite, and they're saying, well, we need Martinelli to be part of this squad as a backup. Make your minds up. Is he elite or backup player? Because at the end of the day, your manager, Mick Arteta, is the one who put the seeds into my mind when he aggressively went after Mudryk was in the 22-23 season. So clearly he saw something that I was to see later. As far as I'm concerned, regardless whether we're in for Rodrygo or not, we need to upgrade at the left-hand side. That's imperative if we want to win anything. Getting a left winger and probably another left back is just as important as getting a striker. Because
there's priority areas for sure. Priority areas more than just a striker for sure.
Left wing is definitely priority. Martinelli and Trossard not good enough. They're not good enough. They are what they are. Occasional moments players. They're not consistent enough. You look at Saka. Compare Saka. Now, Saka could have an alleged quiet game or quiet season, but he will still be able to create something out of nothing. He will still score that goal. He will still put that cross in. He will still create that chance. Martinelli, even when he's off his game, that's it. He's off his game.
Yeah.
For the first 6 months, he wasn't even beating his full back. I mean, this Martinelli love, it's got to stop now. We've got to move on. Stop getting attached to players who don't win us anything. Let's just move on.
Do you think he's going though, Kenny? Do you think Martinelli's going?
Well, the fact is, Arsenal have to sell before we have to buy. All this stuff about Arsenal saying they've got a big war chest. Of course, they've got a big war chest. Doesn't mean that PSR is going to allow them to spend the money indiscriminately.
We don't have to
here just to buy players. Berta's here to move players on, and he's here to deal with contracts. He's got a three-pronged job. You're probably not going to say see the best of Berta maybe a year's time. Who knows? But right now, we just have to concentrate just as much as getting players out as getting the players we need in, because all this demand for elite players, you can't get your elite players in if you don't make a sacrifice. Martinelli, 180 grand a week. He's got youth on his side. He's a Brazilian international. He hasn't really pulled up much trees. How many goals did he score last season? 7, 8? Yeah. How many serious injuries did he have? Well, he had an injury, but was it serious? Nope. What are we debating? Moving on. If we are going to look for players that are levels above him, or we're looking at Rodrygo, we got to make a sacrifice. Him or Trossard. But I'll suggest both. They're both not good enough for the football club.
Does anyone think Rodrygo to Arsenal happens on this panel?
No.
Oh man, I thought there was going to be more positiveness than that.
I would say probably 10 to 20%, Dan. Honestly, the only concern I have, so one, I'm not letting myself believe in it because we've been here so many times, we've been disappointed so many times. I just don't want to let myself believe it. But from what we're seeing, it does look like if he decides to pull the trigger, which he might in the next 2-3 weeks, if he continuously doesn't get played and he feels like he's going to be out of favor, he might just decide to make the move and pull the trigger. And it's more than Arsenal that are looking at him. My only issue is now whether Arsenal put all our eggs in his basket and we wait, and then he decides not to move, or he moves elsewhere, and then we get left with nothing. Leao goes to Bayern, Jamie Gittins goes to Chelsea, and all the options start to dwindle. We're already seeing Nico Williams going to Barcelona, so that's my only worry. I would love Arsenal to get him, but I don't want us to spend too much time on it. We got to figure it out quickly and move on.
I think the thing is, Dan. Yeah, that was a sharp comment I made. And the reason I made that comment is the fact that I'm fed up of being disappointed.
Yep.
I mean, we could go back like Julian Draxler. Are we still in for him? Is he still on the cards? I mean, that might come up again. I think the problem is that I don't believe anything. I don't hope for anything. I don't believe in anything until I see that player at the Emirates with Arteta and, well, it'd be Berta now, wouldn't it? Stood behind him. He's got his pen in his hand and he's signed the deal and he's got an Arsenal shirt on. I'm not going to waste my time wasting my thoughts on this. I don't have any faith in this club right now. It's the same old rinse and repeat. Here we are, end of June nearly, yeah, and we've supposedly Zupermendi deals done. Why haven't we announced it then?
Because we're waiting because we have an agreement that we're going to announce it in July, so that it's on the financial year in Spain, starts in July. So that's the reason why we haven't announced it. I know we're not happy with it, and by the way, I'm also frustrated with it.
It's Arsenal, though, is it?
But yeah, it's very Arsenal-like. It's what we do. So why expect us to do something?
Arsenal can announce it. The finances are totally separate. and it's going to be on a what's the term? It's not money up front. It's going to be on payments. So that's nothing to do with Arsenal.
Installments, yeah.
Installments. That's right, Dan. It's nothing to do with Arsenal. That's because they've got to balance their books.
No, but again, remember that they have asked us to wait until July to confirm it. Whether that's true or not, whether we can announce it and still do it in July, like I don't know the details. I'm not an accountant, but from what we understand is there's an agreement with the club that have sold us a player. They've told us to wait till July to announce it, and that's what we're doing. Like he's already obviously been to Soba. He's met Arteta. He's taken pictures. He's done the medical. He's done everything. It's very frustrating as a fan knowing that you've signed a player and you haven't announced him, right? But
how do you know?
Because it's been reported by The Athletic and many other reliable journalists that have told us. The Athletic, David Ornstein, Sammy Rockwell. I mean, there's multiple people. Yeah, right, come on, Jez. We're talking about the top people in the industry that are telling us information that he has landed, that he's done all the procedures, right? There's no reason to doubt it. It's just a waste of your energy. Kepa and him are done signings. Yes, it's frustrating not to see them being announced and not to see the pictures and stuff. But in my mind, it doesn't matter whether that's announced today or next week. As long as we are getting the striker done and the left winger done, that's the most important thing for me, right?
I don't agree with that you just said. I'm sorry, respectfully, I don't agree with anything you just said.
Okay, but explain what you don't agree with.
There's no reason financially that Arsenal could not announce that signing. It's nothing.
We don't know that. What? How do you know that? So
let me land it. Let me land it.
Let me land it. Though, don't just make a statement. Because your statement is just.
Well, what if you stop interrupting me?
Well, I'm just making sure that you're going to be clear, so that I don't have to interrupt you.
I am being serious, man. I am being serious. You know, I'm not.
Go on, land, Jez.
Land. You know what I'm saying? There is no reason, right? Unless they have put in a clause and says no, you can't do it because we can't afford to let you do it because of the fact that we've got financial obligation. We've got to balance our books. Okay. Nobody's come out and said that. Nobody officially, apart from The Athletic, has come out and said that. Do I believe what The Athletic says? No, I don't. Most of what they come out with is a load of shit.
So you're saying you don't believe that it's done?
It does make sense, though, innit? You can see why, you can understand that. But my thing is not more about that. My thing is more about the striker and left winger. The Zubimendi and all that, I'm not really too bothered about. Now, I don't know why we're kind of going over that bit so much because I can understand why they would wait to announce it for the financial year and stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there for me. If we signed him and they say and I get to July. And it says, yeah, 2 minutes on the shirt. I'll be like, fine. I won't care about this convo 2 weeks later. What I care about is the striker.
We're going to have to keep waiting for that one. You have to
keep waiting. That's all I care about. I literally.
Yeah, that's the kind of long game because the long term target is Benjamin Sesko. The Gyokeres thing was Arsenal did the right thing. It was opportunity. Is an opportunity which Arsenal took. They have to. For players available who scores that volume of goals, and he's got an alleged sort of a, like I said, clause in his contract, or he's available allegedly. All the top clubs in Europe are going to want to be involved in a player that scored that amount of goals. When it talks about a striker, the reason why I keep quiet when I talk about Gyokeres and the bids being prepared, I just laugh because there's no evidence of this occurrence before Berta came to the club. It was always Sesko. In fact, I'm surprised we didn't get him last season. In fact, I'm more and more convinced the reason why we didn't get him the reason why we didn't go for a striker last season is because we thought we're going to get this guy. And then a year down the line, there's still, obviously there's clauses that need to be agreed, and maybe it's salaries. But long term, I think in terms of Sesko, from a business point of view, the club want it, and from a footballing point of view, Arteta wants it. I'm not slagging off Gyokeres, but I will. It's a question for you, D, and you, African Gooner, because I've already spoken to Jez about this. And forgive me for my ignorance, but do you think, when you look at Gyokeres, two questions. The first question I want to ask you, do you think that he can transfer his volume of goals to the Premiership? And 2, what happened at Brighton? Why couldn't he do it at Brighton? What happened to Coventry? These are 2 questions from my point of view. I need to mix it because I'm not convinced by either of the strikers. I'd rather have someone else. However, I understand where the club's going with Sesko more than in Gyokeres. Of course, he scores goals, and that's the most important thing. But I am in that kind of body of people who think, you know, Gyokeres, can he transfer it to our league? I do have concerns.
You know what it is, though, Kenny? I understand what you're saying in terms of like the business and the Sesko, you see it, but I think that that's just looking at too many nuances. I think that's just looking at all the extra stuff that maybe not. If there's a striker that scores 60 goals and one that scores 13, you get the 60-goal striker.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of that. But the club, what the club are doing, they took the club from a business point of view. You know, Sesko, they look at him and said, right, this guy in a few years' time could be and should be is going to be a GOAT. Whilst this guy, we need him right now. And that's where there is sort of a. It's not hate, man. Trixie, grow up. It's not hate. It's not hate.
You're saying, but
it's genuine questions because the manager himself. I haven't seen that us being linked with a player. That's why
I was more annoyed if we get Sesko than Gyokeres. That's when I will start turning more than anything. And the thing with the Gyokeres is
you're going to get you're more like you're 100% more.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the only reason why I think one of the major issues why we're taking someone for a striker is because one, Arteta is hell bent on making Havertz work. He's hell bent on it. I can just see that. I know for a fact he wants Havertz to prove everyone wrong.
That's a player on a list of players I like to sell as well.
Yeah. I understand that. But another thing that people do, they say, like the second question you asked was, can it transfer to the Premier League? Well, if you're in Portugal, it's the same Amorim that was in Portugal where people say, yeah, you want to go and get him because he's one of the best coaches in the world at Portugal. But you see when it comes to Gyokeres, I like strikers to do what they're supposed to do against crap teams. So if you're playing against a crap team and you're scoring hat-tricks and 60 goals, then that shows me you're far above that level. So it shows me I'm going to batter the teams that are crap because you're meant to do that.
What about Darwin Núñez? He was like a elite striker at Benfica. He
not everyone's going to transfer.
An attacking team.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Liverpool play better attacking football than us, and he still can't transfer that volume of goals and that output in a team like Liverpool. Yeah, basically they play rock and roll football under Klopp.
But the risk for Gyokeres to me is a risk that if it doesn't work, you can say at least you made the right choice. If you get Sesko and it doesn't work, that's almost a sackable offence. Because if you buy Sesko, it has to work.
Whoever he buys, it doesn't matter now. That's my point. When I said he's hanging himself, it's like whoever in whatever position he buys now, he has to go and deliver the season. It has to be the Champions League. It has to be the Premier League. League Cup, FA Cup, not good enough in my opinion. Maybe it'll give him another year if he wins one of those.
Yeah, that would the fan base would be happy. That would do for some things. I think the problem with Mikel Arteta, and I'm not taking the mickey out of anyone. I'm just saying for what I've seen, there's a mindset that is locked in with a lot of the fans where it all goes back to the fact that they have this mindset that Arsenal is this like poverty club before Mikel got there, and that it was a club on its knees and Mikel sorted it all out, and that he's now got us to the brink of being a team that's very hard to beat and a team that's challenging. But the trouble with when you have that kind of mindset is that when the success doesn't happen, say next season we have a worse season we had last season, it's going to be very difficult for people to take away that mindset in terms of us having to make a decision to replace him. Now, the reason why I was listening to both yourself and D, and the question I need to ask you, right, is that you guys are saying that if it happens again next season, then obviously I might change my mind. I think you said words to the effect. You didn't say it directly. However, this season just gone. Was this season Man City? Basically lost transition, and we were the next cab in the rank, and we didn't even challenge Liverpool the title. This last season just gone. This was the season. This was the Armageddon season. This was the season of truth, and he didn't deliver.
But we didn't have the player. I don't want to make excuses for him.
It was all done by February.
We were 12 before.
I agree. I agree with that point. I think sometimes you got to just be honest about the fact that it hasn't so far. There's teams winning, and we're not one of those teams winning. And sometimes you just got to say it as it is. That's what the facts are. I just feel like at the point we're at, we all know that it takes us 2 or 3 serious signings to be really serious. This is the first year that if we sign a striker and a left winger, I'll go into the season with our team feeling complete. That's I haven't had that for a long time. So that's what I come down to. But I do agree with what you lot are saying. It's been too long with no major silverware. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it happens. But I agree with that point.
I think you know another thing. Sorry, cut in. Another thing as well. A lot of Arsenal fans, it's not a case of we think the Spurs are better than us. But I'll tell you one thing from my perspective, a North London boy, it bloody well hurt watching them win a trophy. Forget they finished 17th. The connotations were they won 4 European gongs, and a club of our size and our decorated history has only won 2 gongs. That's why it hurt. And the fact that in a season where we didn't even compete in anything, probably Champions League was the season where we didn't shadow box, which we normally do in the Champions League. But the League Cup, it wasn't close, was it?
I think the real issue is the Super Cup.
Yeah, it built close. The league was a joke. Come on, they've got
the Super Cup to play for. They've got
in the FA Cup. Man United, 10 men basically hit us on the break. And even at penalties, they look the most confident.
So would you take an FA if we won an FA Cup? Would you say Arteta's to stay?
Well, the thing about it is that what it will do is that because I'm obsessed with winning trophies and a club of our size winning trophies. You know, in terms of the interest of fans, he will get time. Regardless of what I think of him, he will get time because he is giving me what I want, success. That's what I want, success. I don't think he's the right man. He's not my preference, but I want success. And that's why the longer I go about success, I'm not going to go after the Cronkies. I'm going to go after him because I believe that this guy has got everything he wants. He's in control
all the tools he needed.
Every time he's been interested in a player, we linked with the player, he's been provided with money. Now, it doesn't mean he's got the player, but he's provided with universal support from the board to the extent that Josh Kroenke echoes everything he says. Arteta says, we're not going to be satisfied with anything other than winning. What does Josh Kroenke say? We're not going to be satisfied with anything than winning. Just like his dad said, when Arsene Wenger said Arsenal, at 4th place of the trophy, his dad echoed that by saying, I didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. So they're echoes to Cronkies. They do what they basically see what the mood is. If the fans turn on Mikel Arteta, they get worried.
I agree.
And that's a fact. If the fans, if the narrative with the fans is that they still got this mindset that Mikel Arteta has taken us from the brink of disaster, from the jaws of the apocalypse, he's taken us a jaw of it, of everything that's bad and hell, then what's going to happen is that mindset, if we finish 5th next season, I bet you any money there's going to be people, I don't know about YouTube, I know there's going to be enough fans who will say, it's wrong to get rid of Mikel because at the end of the day, he hasn't got enough support. The Cronkies didn't give him enough money. Saka had a bad season. He tore his Achilles. All sorts of excuses. But what it boiled down to is that they still got this mindset that Mikel has turned Arsenal into a club that matters. That's not enough.
Well, what do we think? What do we think as a panel? Like, what do we actually think about this? Then, like, let's ask this as the closing question because everyone knows where my thoughts are. I'm on this channel enough, right? So there's no point asking me. What do you guys actually believe needs to happen next season? Because for me, there's a lot of people that are saying he wins a trophy, I'm happy. There's some that are saying a trophy ain't enough. He's got to be a Premier League or a Champions League. So, African Gooner, let me start with you, man. Where are you at with this? Because Arteta, he's under pressure, bruv.
He's under huge pressure. And as I said, like the more mistakes he makes, the quicker he's losing people. And I feel like he had me last year, but this year, you know, he's slowly lost me. And I've been burnt a few times and my heart's been broken, which has led me to feel like Jez says, like, I don't trust what the club does. I don't want to hurt myself. That's why I'm like, with the Rodrygo stuff, I don't want to put any hopes on it because I know I'm going to get crushed. So, yeah, pressure is on, Dan. And for me, it has to be the Premier League or Champions League. I'm sorry, I don't believe people that say that if we win an FA Cup and League Cup, they're going to be happy. Yes, it's a trophy, but I know deep down that if that is what happens, we're going to turn around and say, oh, well, we've already won the FA Cup before. We've already won the League Cup before. It's not the 2 trophies that we really want and are yearning for, right? Arteta hasn't done anything. Wenger did it, etc. So, I mean, in my opinion, it has to be the 2 big major ones. And as soon as the fan base starts seeing that, let's say, for example, we start falling off in September, October, I think the fan base will turn. And as Kenny Ken said, like, as soon as the fan base turns and the heat starts coming up and the pressure starts kicking in the Emirates, that's when the owners are going to start taking notice, and they'll start feeling the pressure, and they'll start realizing that their time with Arteta is also has a finite amount of time, because they'll have to pull the plug with the fan base going crazy. And I do think it's going to be worse than it was before if it goes down south.
Oh, God, don't say that.
Yeah, I've said that many times, that we know it's going to look ugly. Like, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, I agree. What are you saying, D?
I feel like we're at a point now where the gap's been so long that we kind of want to take anything now. Like you kind of fight for scraps now, kind of thing. So I don't think we can kind of look at any trophy and say, oh, this one's below that one, even though we know they are, but we need to win. But I think for Arteta, everything just felt too easy when he came. I think he just thought, yeah, I'm come from Guardiola team, then I won something straight away, then I'm building this team, and now I'm competing. I think it just felt easy, and I think he realized it's not as easy as he thought it was. And this is the most pressure he's probably ever going to be under, because he's now in the situation that he should be in, which is to win regardless. So I think he's built it for himself to be in a position where you have to win now. And I think if I look at the team, I think the team are under pressure as well, because a lot of people say, oh, Saliba's going to leave if he doesn't win. Well, he's playing. He can win something as well, because he's playing. He's on the pitch. Same as Saka. Saka's on the pitch. So is Declan Rice. These guys are on the pitch. So if we're always talking about, yeah, they might leave to go to a team that's winning, tell them to win then, because they're on the pitch playing. So I see it as, I think everyone is on like fine lines. I think the players know that it's time for them to win as well. I don't think it's just Arteta. Kroenke as well. They didn't back him in January. Why not?
Well, wait. Why are you saying they didn't back him in January?
What do you mean?
Did they not bid 40 million for Watkins? How can we say they didn't back
him? You can bid if you really wanted him, you can bid 65.
But that means that the money was there, which means that the owners were backing him and willing to give him a hand.
They didn't back him in January. They did
back him, my friend. If you're willing to go buy a striker for 40 million, that means there was 40 million that the club and the owners are willing to give the manager. We could
have gone and got a player that we know we're guaranteed to get, like Liam Delap.
We could have gone and loaned someone. We could have recalled someone. That was an active decision by the manager. I don't like hearing fans saying that the owners didn't back him, because that is not true in my opinion. And I use the example of us bidding for a player because that's factual. That means that the club showed their hand, showed Arteta trust to say, hey, we're willing to bid 40 million. Because if that bid is accepted, we got to pay it, and he's coming, right? So it means that we are willing to spend that money.
Are you being serious? Are you being serious?
I am being, well, how am I not being serious?
I wasn't sure if you're being serious.
No, I'm being serious. Like, I don't understand why fans say this. That's why I stopped you, because I want to understand why fans have this opinion. Because didn't back him.
Because the reason why I say that is because we didn't sign anybody in January.
But the money was given, right?
Wait, let me finish. We didn't sign anyone in January, and we had Jesus, Saka, and Havertz injured.
Havertz wasn't even injured before this decision was made, by the way.
Well, but he was injured after
he was injured after the transfer window closed, and Martinelli got injured even the day after. So
let's go on your point. So we got our main goal scorer out, because no one else in our team scores goals. So we got our main goal.
Jesus was our main goal scorer, is what we're saying.
When has Jesus ever been our main goal scorer?
Oh, Havertz wasn't out. That's my point. That's why I'm telling you.
No, our main player is Saka. He's our main goal.
Yeah, Saka was out. Yes.
So Saka and Jesus are out, and you don't think we need to add strikers?
I do, and I just gave you an example that the owners gave money to Arteta to buy a player, but you're saying that they didn't back him. That's why we're having this discussion. I'm giving you a point and a factual evidence that the owners backed him and tried to help him by bidding for a player. 40 million. Now, as the manager, you should be responsible to come up with creative ideas. If that bid is not accepted, you still have 40 million to play with. It's still your choice to go and do something with that money. And in my opinion, he didn't, because he wants his first priority signings, which is Sesko, etc. So he made the decision to wait till the summer, and then unfortunately Kai got injured, then Martinelli got injured, and then we were effed. That is how I saw it play out. So that's why I wanted to have it.
I see it completely differently. I don't see it that they backed him at all. I see it as if they backed him, they would have.
But they bid 40 million. So how can you say that they didn't back him? That's what I.
Why do you keep saying that? You can bid 70. Why do you keep saying they bid 40?
Because if you don't bid for anyone, then I hear your point and I say yes, I agree with you that the owners didn't back him because they didn't do anything. But when the owners actually put in their, like, you know what I mean? They put their money where their mouth is and they made a bid. That means that the owners backed the manager, in my opinion. And the fact that they given Arteta 500, 600 million when we were talking about Emery, he didn't get that sort of money, right? And Wenger didn't get that sort of money either. So I don't like saying that the owners haven't backed him. Doesn't mean that they're faultless. Obviously, they're not ambitious enough and stuff. And
I'm certain if you ask Arteta if they backed him, or
he would say yes.
No, he wouldn't.
He would 100% yes.
No,
he would never say anything bad against the
not in public. I'm saying if you do it behind the scenes and he was talking, I can guarantee you he would say they didn't give me.
Let me ask you something. So last summer when we spent 150 million on all the players that we did you? So they didn't back him.
Last summer. Last summer
Marino. When we spent 100 million on Marino, on whoever, on the players that we signed.
Terrible.
Right?
That was a terrible summer.
But my point is the money was given to the manager, and the manager makes the decisions on which players that he wants. So again, he was backed in the summer.
No, he's been backed in the past, but he wasn't backed in the summer. Why should we have 100 million to spend? We should have had about 300 million to spend.
My point is he's given a transfer kitty, and the owners are not the ones who decide which players and which positions need to be addressed. That is the manager's responsibility, and that is the sporting director's responsibility. So hence my conversation with you on how can we say that the owners have not backed this manager when they clearly have, right? The biggest signing that this club has ever seen, consistently buying players. How many left backs have we bought? The money has been there to be spent. It's been misspent several times, but it's also been spent well on Ramsdale, on Declan Rice, Timber, on Ben White, on Rhea. I can make cases for that too. But to say that the owners haven't backed this, the manager is not right for me, in my opinion.
So if he didn't back him, that means you want Arteta sacked then? That's basically what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that he's had the resources to do better than what he has. That's what I'm saying. So yes, I'm saying the owners cannot be held culpable for him buying Calafiori and him buying Zinchenko and making these decisions. That's not the owner's decision. That is Arteta's active decisions that he's made, and these are the consequences that we're living with.
Let me ask Jez what he thinks about Arteta this summer. What's he got to do, Jez, this season? Got to win the Prem or the Champions League, or?
Look, I would have taken last season the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup. Born and bred, first cup final I ever went to, 1971. We won the double when we had a proper manager and a proper team. But right now, for me to give him any credence, it's Premier League minimum. I'm not accepting the FA Cup or the Carrier Bag Cup. Sorry. This guy has put his stable out, right? And he's failed and failed and failed. So for me, I've had enough of him. He's had his time. He's had all the backing. And nobody can say he hasn't had the backing. Don't bullshit that one, right? I have no time for the guy. But if he was to win the Premier League, I'd have to step back and say, fair enough. You've done it at last after 6 seasons. Personally, Dan, gentlemen, I reckon we'll be sitting about 5th, 6th at Christmas. And that's when he's got to be thrown out. And let's move on, get somebody else in that can actually do the job. And he should be honest with himself and say, it's too big for me. I've tried. I just can't be doing it. Go, walk out, show yourself some pride to yourself as a gentleman and move on. Because then you'll get some credit in the world of football. Because right now, I think your time's very on borrowed time, because I think you've got people breathing down your neck. I reckon Berta is watching you way, way close. So at the end of the day, I'm not having hearing all this bullshit, right? It's the Premier League minimum. He ain't going to win the Champions League. That was proven last season, right? He gassed it, right? We got absolutely taken apart by PSG. It was an embarrassment. we got taken apart in the League Cup, if you want to call it that, by Newcastle United. No, the guy's not good enough. Sorry. February this year, season over, 12 points behind Liverpool. Disgrace. We ended up further points behind Liverpool than we did Man City the season before. How is that progress? That is not progress. That is regression. That is failure. This guy has not achieved what everybody said he would, or they thought he was going to achieve. I didn't want him. I never wanted him as a player. He was a bit part player at Everton. He was a good player at Rangers. Fair play. But he was not that great. And I heard a couple of comments tonight. He was an Arsenal captain. Right. Not the greatest though, was he? I can name you a lot of better Arsenal captains than him. Yeah? No. Sorry, Dan. To answer your question, man, if he doesn't win the Premier League, go. And go very quickly, because you're going to embarrass yourself, sir. You know? And I reckon if we're sitting in the shit position by 5th, 6th in Christmas, man, the fans are certainly going to turn. They were turning towards the end of last year. There was scrapping going on in the North Bank. Right? So, move on, fella. Do yourself some honour and get out.
You know, it's funny, Kenny, I asked Chris Hudson the same question earlier, and his answer was if he doesn't win it, he thinks Arteta might walk. Now, I don't know if I agree or disagree with that, but if I'm on £15 million a year, I don't think I'm walking, if I'm honest with you, Kenny. So that's where I'm at.
The trouble is that there's no such thing about there's no such thing as a sack or resigning. It's called mutual consent, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the new sex, isn't it? Mutual consent is basically, you know what? It's not working out, but out of respect, we let you make your own announcement. A la Arsene Wenger. You know, Arsene Wenger is clear as a day that he got the sack.
Yeah.
But he was allowed, because of what he's done for the football, because he's been there for a long time. Because I'm going to say back what he'd done for the football. That's another. I don't even want to go there. What he did at the end. I like to think about what he did in the beginning, but that's the situation. If Arteta goes, it will be mutual consent, and with a payoff, and he'll be allowed to make his own announcement. But the thing is, with Mick Arteta, and the thing is about my expectations, and you're not going to like this, any of you guys. I think the league's the most important, the most important trophy by a country mile. It's more important than Champions League. And I understand you guys love the Champions League more than the league because we haven't won it before. You've seen teams like Chelsea win it. You've seen Nottingham Forest win it. You've seen Aston Villa win it. Nottingham Forest win it twice. You've seen Celtic win it. You've seen Borussia Dortmund win it. Hamburg win it. I get it. I respect that. However, because of where we were in 2023 and 2024, it's imperative that all these you said we're one of the best teams in Europe. We're one of the best teams in the league. Well, if you want proof of that, you've got to win the league. Our domestic league. So we're the best because there'll be no dispute. No one will ever be able to take that away from you. 38 games. Going to your rivals home and away, undefeated. Winning when you're not playing well. Winning when you're down to 10 men. Winning when referees are on your arse.
Yeah.
Winning, getting last minute goals. You know, sometimes having to come back for a couple of defeats. It's all the mental and physical disciplines you've got to deal with. I'm not denigrating the Champions League because the Champions League is beautiful. It's lovely. I was at Paris. I saw grown men crying. But if you want to be counted as the best and you want to go around with your chest out there saying, oh, we're the best team in Europe, no one's listening to you. But when you win the league, no one can take that away from you.
True.
Look, I want to win the Champions League because I want the one with the big ears that I haven't seen, but I'm not going to sit there and say that the Premier League would be like, oh, that's a shame. I really wanted the Champions League. We obviously want to win the league, right? I would love a major Where I'm at with the Cronkies and Arteta is quite different, actually, to some people on here. I actually haven't had enough of the Cronkies. 21 years, no trophy. Since they've arrived 2008, 4 FA Cups. That's nowhere near good enough for a club the size of Arsenal. And I would say the ownership has failed. I'm not going to deny they haven't backed Arteta, because clearly they have. But what's he still doing here? The owners have got the chance to sack him, and they haven't. So now I'm looking at the owners thinking, do you actually want to win? Because I'm looking at the ambition, and I understand what you're saying, African Gunnar, about the kind of giving him money in here and doing that and doing that and the third. But if I'm honest with you, I've seen zero ambition since we've got Champions League football that they want anything but that. The Champions League is giving them their pockets filled, and they're quite happy with that, the Cronkies. They do not show any ambition whatsoever. I look at what Liverpool, Manchester City are doing, and I think, wow, they are miles ahead of us right now. We are currently going to try and hold on to third right now if the season was to start tomorrow. We've got to try and hold on to third because they're flying ahead of us. So now we've got to try and catch up with them. Man City have spent money this window, but they've already previously spent 200 million in January. Liverpool are breaking the bank for Florian Wirtz, and the rumours are they're going for Isak. Whether or not they get him or not, they're going to have the ambition to go and get him. What ambition have we got? Have we got the ambition to go and get a Florian Wirtz or an Isak? Because that's what we should be doing. They walk into our first
team. If we get Rodrygo, Dan, then that's good, right? Like
that's
then
a great start. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I want to see, bro. I want to see Rodrygo. If we can't get Isak, I want to see Gyokeres. Zubimendi's fine. It doesn't excite me, but he's coming in because he's a good player. Obviously, Harto and Kepa and all these guys are going to be backups, but I'm fine by that if they come in. But I want to be seeing, on top of that, an exciting signing. Like, go and get Sanchez over at Athletic Bilbao, or go and get Morgan Rogers, somebody in that midfield that's going to give us some legs and athleticism and drive alongside Declan Rice and Zubimendi and these guys. Because if Partey's going, we've got two options. We lose Thomas Partey, by the way, and that's a big, big blow. But if we say he goes, right, we've got two options. You either go and replace him and just get that young Lucian guy that everyone's talking about, or you go and get Zubimendi and Rice as the sixes, and then you go and buy a proper box-to-box athletic midfielder like Morgan Rogers. They're your two options for me. So I want to see where we go. I want to see the ambition. I want to see us. I want to see that. Wow. Andrea Berta has done a madness. We got to go and win this league. And I don't know that we're going to do that. I just don't have the faith. I don't have the faith in this ownership and board that we're going to do that. You know, and it's not nothing to do with Berta. I'm looking at Richard Garlick and the Cronkies and these guys that have been here that have let us down window after window. I can't get excited for it. So as much as I'm not losing my head about it right now, I'll do that when the window closes and assess it. I can understand why some people have got PTSD about this summer transfer window, because I saw what happened the last summer when we signed Sterling on deadline day. I see what happened in January when we just left to rot and play, as Chris Hudson said, give it to God to see if we can win the Premier League. So for me, that's where I'm at with it, man. Let me do these super chats before we come to a close. Big up to Joe. It says, big up to Dan and the paddle. Please, Madueke, don't come. If we sign another Chelsea player, by the way, I'm so sick and tired of this obsession that we've got with Chelsea's rejects. Like, please, no more Willians, Sterlings, Czechs, Louises. I'm sick and tired of it, man. I don't want any of these players. We get that Noni Madueke, who I don't even think is better than Ethan Wanieri. Like, real talk, it's crazy for me. Big up to Max for the super stick. I really appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Stephen doesn't agree with D. He says that Lampard failed at Chelsea and got sacked. Meanwhile, Arteta's about to enter his 7th season, saying it's nonsense. I've got to say, I don't know what your point was there about the sentimental value, D, and why you were bringing that up. I didn't feel like you got a chance to land that because you and Northside were going at it. Did you feel like you landed that point, or?
No, of course not. Obviously, that's what happens on panel shows, isn't it? You can't really see, you're never going to finish, is it? So I enjoy it, though. You know what I mean? That's part of the game, isn't it? I enjoy it.
Calm. As long as it's
come on, bro.
Calm. Maxwell says Sesko's a football manager striker, not a bagsman. Laughable. If I'm honest, I'm not a fan of. AG, do you know much about Sesko? Do you like him?
They're both good players. I hear it. Like, the only thing about Gyokeres is, like, he'll be like Haaland. He'll score those one chance opportunities, but the rest of the game, he's not going to be in the game. And Arteta's not that guy. I just don't see it happening unless Berta pulls the magic and he trumps his decision and somehow convinces him. Or, as we're hearing now, Sesko is asking for. He's thinking he's a big boy and he's a bad boy, and now he's asking for big boy wages and release clauses and all this nonsense. So it looks like we could pivot. I think, guys, Sesko isn't as bad as Arsenal fans make out him to be. I think it's just underwhelming because you want the ready-made player, of course. And this is what Arsenal does to us, right, Dan? We get deprived so badly that we keep waiting one more season. Where's the ready-made striker? Where's the replacement for Xhaka? Where's the replacement for Aubameyang? And then when you get linked to a promising player like Sesko, everyone's like, no. He's not a bad player, but we just don't know how long it's going to take him. And again, as I said, like if you get a Rodrygo with a Sesko, I'm really excited. But if you give me a Sesko and a Lookman or something, oh man, yeah. I
mean, I don't mind Lookman, but it's not a Rodrygo. And
but again, two raw players, right? We need that ready-made player wherever it is, whether it's the striker or the left winger or the cam, as you said, like a Morgan Rogers. I would consider a ready-made player that comes straight into 11. Xavi Simons, Eze, right? These are players that come in and get us excited, and we're like, okay, we can compete against Liverpool, Man City. As you rightly said, Dan, like right now, it does look like we're struggling to hold on to third place, and we haven't even gone into the season yet, right? And the other two teams can still improve, so it's not looking good for us.
I agree. Jez, this one comes in from African Cat. It says, you're struggling to sign players. Next season, I'm pretty sure you'll be having the same conversation. Aren't you guys tired of excuses? And it made me think of you because the other day when I was on your stream, there was that super chat or that comment that you had, which basically summed up being disillusioned to Arsenal. And I think the excuses have come out a bit too much now, man. It's either win or go for me now, Jez.
Yeah,
and Dan, sorry, go ahead, Jez.
I totally agree, mate. I mean, it just gets a joke every year now. You know, here we are sitting here once again. Man City, Liverpool done their business or doing most of their business, I would say. And here we are once again, just rocking along, doing it in the usual Arsenal fashion, mate. And it's so disheartening when we are supposed to be a big club and we should be now having these players in and getting ready for the pre-season tour games and everything like that, when these supposed players can actually come in and say, right, yeah, I'm joined the club. Yeah, good to meet you, boys. I'm looking forward to playing. We're going to do pre-season and all that and this, that and the other. I'm not seeing it, mate. It's disappointment every single bloody time. Why do we do this to ourselves? Come on.
Let me ask you one question. See, during any of the seasons, did you feel we was going to win anything during any of the seasons in the last couple of years? Is there ever a point that you thought we would win something?
No.
Come on.
How about you, Kenny?
I have to admit, I fell in love with the idea of us winning the league in 23, and I was absolutely gutted.
That's where I was.
I was so gutted because I thought that was our chance. Even though we looked more solid tactically and defensively and offensively in the season afterwards, I always had that sneaky feeling that we were playing catch up, and if we made one mistake, we were done. And that happened in 23, 24. But in 23, I really fell in love with the idea of us winning the league. I really just thought, you know what I mean? Even this season of the Champions League, don't get me wrong, man, I fell in love with the idea of going to Munich. And I already thought, right, I'm going to get a pass. But I didn't think we were going to win it. Because we now know we probably put International on a pedestal. Because look what a team that just attacked them with...
I didn't think we were going to win the Champions League,
didn't they? But yeah, I generally thought that we wouldn't have. I didn't think we'd win the Champions League, but I thought I would have loved us to get in the final, just so I could be there again. But
I thought 2022, 23.
I fell in love with that idea.
The Bournemouth game for me, the Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson. Yeah.
I was like, we're going to do it this year. This is going to be it. Yeah. It's going to be us. And that was the last time. And I remember my fan cam, I was like, this is what I've waited for. Come on, it's going to happen. I was getting really excited. And then I was like, shot down again. Why did I get excited? So it's one of those for me. But Steven says he's had 6 years to win the league and he hasn't. So sack him. There's a lot of fans that are like this.
Big up, Steven. I know you agree with me, really. Big up yourself.
Big up. Cliff as well says, lads, it'll be the same old Jack and Ori. No trophy. He's also done. OGN says, what we saying? OGN says, in the stream, bottom right. I think he's talking about you, AG. Makes too much sense for anyone else to waffle their agendas. He's actually a fan. There we go. Fair play. James says, in a transfer clause deal, you don't have to contact the club just for their FA. So how has that got anything to do with Sociedad's new financial year? I don't know.
So we can pay in installments. I
Yeah, that's what it is. It's about installments with Arsenal every year, isn't it?
But it's about installments with all big clubs that want to spend a lot of money on.
I think release clause, you got to pay it.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, we have to be sensible, right? If we want to spend the 150 million, we got to break it up in 5 years, right? That's how big deals.
Well, it'd be interesting if we're doing installments. It'd be interesting to see what else we do spend. That's for sure.
That is true, right? And at the end, then you can come back and then we can reassess and say, well,
exactly,
it was all BS.
Lee says, African Guna, were we serious when we bid 40 million and £1 for Suarez? You're better than this, man. You're making excuses for a smokescreen.
My point is, in January, there was multiple options. I don't even believe that we have to spend money, but the point is that there was a bid, whether you think it's a smokescreen or not. The point is there was something that we could do. And my belief is that wasn't restricted based on the owners. I think that was an active decision from the manager not to make a move, not to recall Fabio Vieira, not to recall Nelson, who was actually injured, so we couldn't recall Nelson, but we could have loaned someone, right? We could have brought Vlahovic. There was Kolomuani, there was Rashford, there was all these players that we know we could have gotten if we were serious, if we were ambitious. But my feeling is that Arteta didn't want to pull the trigger because he wants the players that he wants, which we're seeing now again, by the way. All the players that we were being linked to, Sesko, Hato, all players that we've been previously linked to, even Mark Gahey, we've been linked to for over 2 years now. So again, Arteta is going for the same players that he wants. He's very stubborn. He's very narrow-minded on what profile of player he wants, what targets he wants. And let's see how it plays out. He's got to live by it now.
Yeah, he certainly has, man. Big up for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Look, it's been a great show, man. I've enjoyed it. I really have. And it's been a great debate. And it's good to try and balance out the panel. So big up to everyone for coming, man. Listen, D, legend, how can people follow you? What you got coming up, bro?
Fams on TV, man. Come over. King of the top gooners, man. You don't know. You don't give me grief. These lot give me grief, man. I get grief every day, man. But it's all fun and games, you get me? But listen, I'm from where I'm from, so I always believe no matter what, you can always get out the other side, man. I've been through a lot. So.
What's the point of supporting a football club if you don't think you're?
I understand where everyone comes from. I get it. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, 6 years is too long for Arsenal not to win a top 12 trophy. That's the bottom line. That's what it comes. No one really cares about the ins and outs or anything else. You've been there 6 years. There's no trophy in 6 years, so that's as far. I get it. It's Arsenal. This is Arsenal, bro. Like, come on, let's be serious. It's time to fix up. So
it's time to deliver, man. Time to deliver. Look, there's well over 1,000 people in there still. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you're following every single one of these guys. Famzone TV, go and show D some love. They're always live. They've got a great panel and guests over there. Great chemistry, great debates. So make sure you go show them some love. African Guna, talk to me. What you got coming up, bro?
Might be starting my own YouTube channel soon. Think it's long overdue. And closing in on 70,000 followers on Twitter. So if you want to be updated, check that out. Always up to date with everything that's happening.
Nice one. Make sure you're following African Guna. You'll definitely want to follow him on Twitter because transfers is about and he knows what he's talking about. So make sure you're following African Guna, man. Jez, how can people follow you? What you got coming up, mate?
Nothing tomorrow, man. We're over in France, and tomorrow night we're going out for a nice little relaxing meal, me and the wife. And thanks for inviting me on, Dan. As always, it's great to be on with D. Never met you before. African Guna. Big up. Of course, Kenny Ken, my co-partner in everything we do. Thursday night I'll probably be doing something. But I changed the channel name, as you may or may not know. It's now Jez is Arsenal. And thank you to everybody that subscribed in the last 2 weeks. I'm nearly on 10K. So thank you for that.
Wow. Legend, man. Let's get Jez up to 10K, people. Come on. Let's make sure we do that. Jez is Arsenal. Let's get him up to 10K. Kenny Ken, always a pleasure, mate. Kenny Ken on Instagram. Make sure you're watching the cricket because Kenny, he's well into it now. He's the only one I know.
England won the first test at Headingley by 5 wickets.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's man of the match performance from Kentucky. That's your issue. But I'm on with Deluded Goon tomorrow at 4:00. I know D be watching.
Yeah, he's gonna watch. Of course, I'm always over there, man. I'm always. I always watch your streams. I'm always in the chat. And I'm always trolling Kenny.
Don't we know it?
Big up you as well, Dan, as well, because you've got this channel to one of the main media outlets, the main football sources online now. You know what I'm saying? So big up yourself as well, Dan, because I see
big up Dan.
This guy from strength like crazy, you know what I'm saying? So
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You'll catch Robbie soon.
Oh man, I ain't gonna catch Robbie. I don't want to catch Robbie. Leave him to it. No, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the compliment.
You should promote your quizzes on here more. Your quizzes.
I know. I should get you lot on them.
Yeah, that's cool. Kenny loves the quiz, man. Kenny loves the quiz.
Friday nights, man. We do quizzes Friday nights. It's chaotic, man. It's chaos.
It's quality. It's quality. It's all good. Listen, people, make sure you've downloaded Match Bingo. QR code on the screen, link in the description. Make sure you get your Match Bingo cards for the football. And enjoy the Club World Cup. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you next time. This is sending you over to Northside. Go show him some love. And he's doing the watch along for Benfica, and it gets quite loud when he's on them. So big up to him. And we'll see you next time. We're out of here, people. Laters.